It's a very good morning to you all. Thank you so much and welcome to it. This is the FreeRide podcast. I've got an amazing guest in studio. He made it and I'm so glad to have him. Thank you so much for all of you who are signing up, who are liking the page. Continue to subscribe. Let's get this page growing, people. My guest today is an ultimate man who is doing so many amazing stuff. He's a wrestler. He's my friend. I've known him for years. My brother, how you doing, man?
This is what you want to take a look at.
Yeah,
that's what you want to take a look at. The
And
Champions
this thing
Pro
is
Wrestling
heavy.
All Africa Championship, man.
This is heavy, bro.
That's the burden of being a champion, my friend.
What the hell does it mean being a champion, bro? Like, what the?
That thing, you know how much money that's cost me at the airport? Because it's in my luggage and it's 5 kilos and it puts my luggage over.
Oh.
And then I got to get it out and then I got to show people and then it's photographs and everything like that.
Yeah, see, so when you walk around with this on your shoulder here, bro, I'm sure people just want to know, like, what the heck is going on?
People want to take photos. They want to...
This is amazing, bro.
They want to have a go, man, which is cool.
I've never held a belt of a champion before.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait. My guest today is Donovan. And Donovan Blocknote, my brother, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, my man. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Let's get on with this one first because it's right in front of my eyes. So you're a champion. You're an African wrestling champion.
All Africa wrestling champion, man.
All African
wrestling champion.
What does that mean, bro?
Man,
you beat everybody.
Well, I've beaten some significant amounts of guys. I've been champion for over 3 years.
For over 3 years.
Over 3 years, I've defended that title. 52 times.
52 times?
52 times, yeah.
Wait. Okay, so over 3 years, it was 52 times that you had to fight to defend it.
Yeah.
So now, okay, so this is amazing, bro. This is 5 kilograms heavy.
Yeah.
Made out of steel and bronze.
Yeah.
What else is in here, bro? Like leather.
Steel and bronze and leather. It's got chamois at the back, over the studs, so that the studs don't chafe into you when you are wearing it. Yes, I have worn it around my waist. No, I haven't worn it recently. Dad needs to go on a crash diet.
Oh, okay. Doesn't fit.
COVID
created all of this.
COVID created a situation where I saw everything that I ate. I ate everything that I saw.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah. And then some of the things that I didn't see, I ended up eating too.
You're like, you're right there. I don't know they're there.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
Yeah. Let's introduce you to everyone, brother. Before we get on to talk about everything that you do, that's what we normally do here. We know that people are professionals, do all sorts of things, but we want to know who the real them are. Because, often people want to hide behind their titles.
Oh, yeah.
But we're vulnerable, we're easy. You're a tough guy who beats everyone, but I'm sure you've got some vulnerabilities about you.
Oh, man, we were just talking earlier about my cat being knocked over. And I didn't sleep the night because I wanted to make sure that he was okay,
And it's so crazy because you're like such a tough guy, and then all of a sudden the cat is like putting you out, dog.
It's my boy.
And it's a kitten.
It's my boy. He's a cat, but he's my dog.
Yeah, he's your dog.
There we go.
He doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, no. He
knows too.
He sort of knows it.
Yeah.
When everybody tries and picks him up and cuddles him and things like this, then he tries and moves away. When I pick him up and I give him a little tummy rub, a little tickle around the chin, he respects he respects the game. He stays. He takes the tickle and
he's
things
like
that.
He's my guy. He could do this. Nobody else can.
There we go. There we go.
So who's Donovan?
Man, that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Because after 42 years, I still don't know.
Yeah. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was on Tuesday? Last week?
The 19th of May, last week Thursday.
Oh, okay.
So, after 42 years, I've landed up in a situation where I've been told that I'm being retrenched from my company. They're closing the department down. I've been in finance for 6 years. I was in advertising sales for 8 years before that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's difficult to try and define yourself when you wear so many hats. What are you a professional wrestler? Are you a father? Are you, my mom's still alive? Are you still a child? You're 42 years old. You still say yes, mom, no, mom. You still respect her game.
And
so
you do respect her, huh?
Yeah, you damn man.
So when mom calls, you run.
Man, my mother's about 4'6", 4'7".
Okay.
She turned around the one day and said, I know where you sleep. I'll kill you in your sleep.
Ha!
She said straight, I'll kill you with a sock full of hammers. And it wasn't like, haha, mom, whatever. I was like, yeah.
You're like, I believe you.
Yeah, I
believe you.
I believe you 100%.
And I'm not going to play around.
There's I detected no lies in what she said.
Yeah. But, so where were you born and raised, brother?
Man, I am a West Rand boy. To my soul. I was born in Florida. I was raised in Florida. I've been to London. I've been all over Africa. The West Rand is my home, man. Florida's my home. I think the furthest I've ever moved away from Florida itself, maybe 8 kilometers. Maybe. I moved to Discovery once, and that was it.
So, born and bred here, and then you went to schools where?
Discovery Primary School.
Yeah.
And then Westridge High School.
Oh, you're Westridge High School.
Yeah,
boy.
I'm a Westridge boy, man. I'm a Westridge boy.
The West Rand used to be good though, eh?
Yeah, not all of us could have gone to Parkies, man.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Did you feel bad about not going to Parkies? Did you really want to go there?
To Westridge, well, my elder sister went there and my middle sister went there. So it's I didn't have much of a choice because, my dad believed a lot in tradition. Everybody, when you met family members, no matter who they were uncle and aunt.
Yeah.
When he introduced his friends, this was Uncle Johnny and Auntie Sari,
Yeah.
My dad was big on tradition. So the eldest daughter went to Westridge. My middle sister went to Westridge. I went to Westridge.
Oh, okay. There was no negotiation.
There was it wasn't even thought of.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, you're going to Westridge. I'm like, cool, whatever.
Yeah. And how was school, bro? Like, did you find it hard at school?
I was bullied.
Yes.
Because I was a scrawny blonde kid who wore glasses, and that I didn't come from money. I didn't come from Willow Park or Helder Crane or Linden or any of those places. I came from Florida, man.
Yeah.
And when they say on the wrong side of the tracks, I was on the wrong side of the tracks. You saw my place now.
Yeah.
People didn't like it.
Wait a minute. So, based on where you come from, you get judged on the basis of that. Was it difficult for you?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, on top of it, my dad was partners in a spare shop in Westbury.
What?
In Westbury, dude. You know where the Bimbos used to be?
Yeah.
In that shopping centre, there was the Bimbos, and next door to it was the Midas.
Oh.
My dad and his brother started that Midas. And then another friend of theirs had the Shell garage on the corner, Curtin and Sons.
Yes.
Now, the great thing about Curtin and Sons, man, that's where Brenda Fussy got her start.
Oh.
Because at that junction, at Commander and Commissioner Street, at that junction where the garage is, two schools converge at that same point.
Of course, yeah.
So what Brenda did was she would go and set up her music and her band and everything like this. And on Friday afternoons, she would go there and she would perform.
Brenda Fussy,
and she would
saw her.
She would sell her cassettes to the school kids. That's how she got popular, man. Brenda was a nice lady, man. I'm sad she's gone.
Word. So you've been exposed to like racial. Like you were exposed to like meeting black people, colored people at a very young age.
Yeah, man.
So race wasn't much of an issue for you.
Never was, never will be.
But did you feel any form of discrimination from anyone on the basis that you're a white guy at that time?
No.
Never.
Because of where I was and what my dad's brother and the guy that owned that garage did in the community.
Okay.
I was never marginalized. I was never excluded because of the color of my skin or my blonde hair or my green eyes or anything like that. Everybody was cool to me, and I was cool to everybody.
Oh, so where the problem was at school?
That's the problem was at school because my
Around
dad
white people.
around white people.
Can you believe?
So you say, damn ass white people, man.
What? Like, because obviously, when it comes to race talks, like a whole lot of us black people, we like so sensitive about it. We like, but like, and I always want people to talk about race without feeling like, like you're a victim or you're a perpetrator or like you've been labeled as a perpetrator or anything like that.
You know what the thing is, Sipo? I'm going to be perfectly honest with you.
Mm.
That stuff doesn't bother me.
Okay.
That stuff doesn't bother me. You know what bothers me?
Yeah.
When people will defend an ideology to the ground, even though the ideology is wrong.
It's messed up. Yeah.
In the white circles, you get what they call the bitter einders. These
einders.
guys that hold on to this notion that South Africa is supposed to be a white country and it belonged to white people and things like that. And then you get the guys on the other side of it who are like, this land belongs to Africans. It's for Africa. It's by Africans, and the white people should just get out. And there's a lot of this rhetoric going around. Here's the thing: if South Africa's put that stuff aside and actually get rid of the actual problem, and the actual problem is greed and corruption. Because as South Africans, we are capable of fantastically wonderful achievements. Think about Africa. Think about what Africa can do. Africa is twice the size of America. Yet we've got half the wealth. Why?
In fact, we are richer than everybody because of our minerals, but we have actually half of the wealth.
Now,
it's crazy.
Not only that, I would put any African country up against any other country in the world for passion, for drive, for determination. Nobody works harder than a South African, man.
Yeah.
Nobody works harder than a South African. When a South African is paid and motivated to do great things, no matter if it's colored, Indian, black, white, whatever, we will achieve great things. And the powers that be are afraid of the power that you and I have.
Sure. That's deep, bro. That's deep.
We're powerful, man.
Yeah. Do you think
they know it? We don't know it.
Oh, so we don't know it.
We don't know it.
Is it because they have used divide and rule to rule and divide us as a society? It's been a system. I mean, apartheid was also like a system that was used to divide and rule people and create fear and create us to dislike each other.
That's it, man. That's it.
So now you're saying the powers that be now is using more or less similar tactics to divide and rule us.
Think about what happened with Mfakani and the Defakani.
Okay.
The segregation of one tribe from another tribe.
Okay.
South Africa is rooted in division.
For sure. Our history
our history is about division.
Yeah.
Our history is not about, we talk about Ubuntu.
Yeah.
Our history is not about Ubuntu. Communities are about Ubuntu.
Yeah.
Ubuntu.
Yeah.
Our history is about division. The Zulus, the Xhosas, the Pedi, Sepedi, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Everybody has to be divided. The Boers wanted Transvaal and the Free State. The Zulus wanted KwaZulu-Natal. The Dutch and the English wanted the Cape. Now imagine what would have happened if everybody got together and said, you know what? We're going to put all that stuff from the pot. From right now, how are we going to build each other? And we don't have that ingrained in us. Our history is ingrained in division. So why not keep us divided?
So do you think the Rainbow Nation, the 1994 promises, the elections of was it a fallacy? Do you think it was just a pipe dream to say we are overcoming and we are destroying the walls of apartheid, now we're coming into democracy, freedom, the Rainbow Nation? Was it a fallacy?
It's difficult to say because the idea was good.
Okay.
The implementation was bad. What happened in Germany after World War II? They sat down with their children and they explained to them the whole situation about the Holocaust and about Nazis and things like that. They said, we could not repeat what we did there. We have to change. Was any of that done here?
No.
No. It was just, here's the country, we're changing from one system to another system, which is great, which is perfect. It is a beautiful thing to happen. But the new system is the same as the old system. It's like wearing a sort of different pair of shoes, but you haven't changed your socks.
Yes.
The dirt is still there. You're just putting a different gloss on it. What in my mind, what should have happened is they should have sat everybody down and said, hey, listen here. This is what apartheid did. It was bad. It was the most evil of evil things that should never happen again. This is how we can prevent it from not happening again.
Well, they did sit down. They had a CODESA, they had a Truth and Reconciliation, they had a constitution drawn up after that. I just don't know what happened years after all of that was introduced.
When you don't uphold the ideas that you put forward,
okay,
when you don't stick to those ideas, what did Nelson Mandela said? Never, never, and never again shall we have in this country oppression by one and another. But now we've got oppression on people of the same color, because now the haves cannot provide for the have-nots because the haves have taken everything. The Zondo Commission has put their 4-part thing together. 41 trillion rand has disappeared from South Africa. What could you have done? What could we have done? 41 trillion. What could we have done as a nation? Do you think informal settlements will happen? Would have been a thing?
They could have been eradicated. The Millennium Development Goals of 2010 were not met. They were stretched out to 2016, I think. That didn't happen.
Keep counting, man. Keep counting.
Yeah. 41 trillion lost. Is that how much money?
41 trillion.
41 trillion rand stolen.
Now think about it. Baragwanath is the biggest hospital in the Southern Hemisphere. It's one of the most underfunded hospitals in the Southern Hemisphere.
Absolutely.
Your public hospitals, what would 41 trillion rand have done to a clinic in Shoshanguve or in Meadowlands? They're just by the Orlando Stadium. There was a beautiful clinic there. What happened to it? Man, it wasn't kept up. It wasn't maintained. It's standing open, serving a community. How many times have you seen kids from Pimville going to school in Constantia Kloof? Because the schools in Pimville, there's no school, there's no infrastructure.
I mean, I had to leave George Khoza High School back in 1994 looking to get into Parkies because at the time the school infrastructure was poor. And if I go back to the same school, they're in the same boat. Nothing has changed after so many years.
Here's the thing: they want the redistribution of land. How much land do you think 41 trillion rand could have bought?
Yeah.
When you travel to Krugersdorp and you see those informal settlements there on the Mandams, soil that has been treated with cyanide, that cyanide is in the groundwater. You drink that water, you are getting cyanide poisoning.
And our clinics are actually, like, if you look at clinics where all these mine dumps are, like, people are sick around those clinics from the dust, from their eyes and their chest, and it's like they got all sorts of problems. And you're quite right. Now, you know, where my challenge is that if you look at corruption, mismanagement of money, the problem is I don't think that corruption is being dealt with from all sectors properly. Like, for instance, money is in a bank, right? It leaves the state bank. The bank that the state uses could be Nedbank, FNB, all of that. It leaves treasury, it goes to a province. The province, department pays an individual who gets a tender. That individual does not get money in his pockets. It goes into his account. So the bank takes all, imagine there's $1 billion that leaves treasury, goes to a department. By the time it gets to a guy, maybe the tender is like 600 million. The bank is been taking this charges of the money being transferred from one account to the other until it gets to this guy. This guy then says, okay, I get a 600 million tender or $1 billion tender. The money goes into his account. He then transfers from his account to people he has to pay off. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Nobody goes to their bank and say, let's look at this 41 trillion and let's trace it from the bank side.
Yeah. Now, we as Africa are suffering from something called economic colonization.
Okay.
Not actual colonization, white people coming in black. We are suffering from economic colonization.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy for somebody to come into South Africa and say, hey, listen here, we're going to give you R1 billion loan. We want to help fix the railways. We'll give you R1 billion loan. But I'm going to give you an extra 100 million rand to make sure that my R1 billion is the R1 billion that you choose. So the African leaders, whatever color, whatever creed or things like this, that economic colonization from other countries comes in. That money comes in. That they don't call it a bribe; they call it a gift.
Yes.
Comes in. I'm gifted.
Yeah.
To make sure that this happens. Now, in China, if you do that, your head gets cut off. But as a Chinese entity, you can offer bribes, you can offer solicitation, you can offer any sort of incentive that you can to make sure that the Chinese companies get that loan. Now, what's to stop South Africa from saying, okay, we don't have the death penalty, because we are a nation of forgiveness. But if you are caught stealing copper cables, or if you are caught taking 100 million rand bribe to get R1 billion tender, what's to stop them from charging you from treason? Because now you're stealing that money that's in a tender. That tender goes to your sons and daughter catching the train to school, your grandmother catching the train to get her SASSA pension. A taxi hits a pothole and rolls, 18 people die. Why is there a pothole in the road? Oh, well, the tender was supposed to be awarded to this person, to that person, and when they try and trace the money, it's gone.
I don't think that we Albert Einstein always says this. He says, not always, but he said it once, I guess. He says the mind that created this problem cannot be expected to solve it.
No.
Now, it then begs me to think of this, that so we know we have problems as Africans. We know we have problems as South Africa. Who is expected to solve them? Because the guys who created this mess are still in charge.
An excellent point was made last night.
Okay, not that mine is not.
No, yours is a very excellent point, and I'm listening to it. An African lady on TikTok said, you cannot, as a minister, have on your CV, I was a freedom fighter. Okay. A freedom fighter to have fought and suffered for your country is the greatest honor you can have as a person. To suffer the indignity and the humiliation that some of these people went through, it is an honor to walk out of it the other side and say, I stood up for myself and I stood up for what I believe in. That is a great thing. But does it make you capable of running a department?
Possibly not.
Possibly not. But what's to stop you from being involved in a department where the head of the Department of Education was an educator? The head of policing was an actual policeman who knows where the problems are and how to fix them. Those things are great, and we should celebrate those people who fought for the freedom of this country. But there comes a time where we need to take that and put it in a box and treasure that box. And the rest of the problems get left to people who actually know how to fix them. And I'm sorry, if you are 75 years old, 76 years old, and you are a minister and you've been a minister for 15, 20 years, I'm sorry, it is time for you to go, because your ideas are 20 years ago's ideas, not now's ideas.
But it's strange you should say that, because the very same China that you praise, that, you know, they will cut off your head if you steal and all of that, the Chinese president has been in power for almost 20 years.
He should go.
And he's not about to move. And if you look at the guy below him, has also equally been in the system for 20, 30 years. So, in fact, there are very few or no under 35s leading the Chinese Communist Party.
How many world leaders do you know that are between the ages of 35 and 45?
I think Macron is pretty much the only leader that I know that's
And how can you look
the French president.
How can you look up to Macron? Because he's got a wife and a mistress.
Oh yeah, I didn't know about the mistress. I'm like, what?
Yeah, man.
I thought he got a wife only.
No,
What?
man. He's French. Of course he's got a mistress. Come on.
Yeah. No, it makes
So
sense.
here's the thing. 2008's problems are not 2018's problems.
Yeah.
The only reason why South Africa is sitting with 2008 problems is because the people in 2008 wanted to keep it in 2008. So they put all the policies and procedures in place, and the people that are there from 2008 are the people that are still in charge. And what is happening with government at the moment? Government is failing people.
It's hectic, bro. It's hectic. All right, so let's go one or two steps back, because I know now we are in politics, but we'll touch on it again later on. But I'm interested in your journey growing up as well, because at some point you and I bumped into each other at some work environment.
Yeah, man.
It was we were selling cartridges. No. It was.
I was selling cell phones at the Voda shop in Westgate.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you pulled me into to iTech North.
To iTech, yes.
And then, man, I just couldn't get to grips with selling copiers, man.
Yo, but remember how tough it was, bro.
That was hard, man.
Yo,
that was hard.
And then from moving from there, you obviously must have moved to like a few other companies in between.
Man,
sales in general.
Yeah, man, I must have had about 20, 25 jobs.
But salespeople don't stick around.
Salespeople don't stick around, man, because it's also you want the BBD, the bigger, better deal.
Is it that, and is it also the comp structure? Is it well, I guess that includes the comp structure, or is it a service or a product thing, or a better return for you as a salesperson?
It was the easiest job to get.
Okay.
Because I come from a very poor family.
I
come from a very poor family. I did not have the opportunity to go and study. I could have gone to go and study. I didn't.
Yeah.
Because at that point in time, there just was no money around.
Sure.
So it was easy for me to get a job in sales to try and save up. But you know what it's like. You're a young guy, 20, 21, 22. You're making okay money. But your friend's always making better money than you. So you're always looking after the bigger things so that you can keep up with your friends instead of focusing on yourself. Now that's the biggest thing, that if I could go back and talk to myself, the 17-year-old Donovan, I'd be like, you know what? Your friends are not going to be around forever.
Yeah.
Friends come and go. They phase in and out of your life. They come in, they go out, they stick around, they don't stick around, whatever it may be. Your education is the way that you are going to further yourself. And it's not just going to school and getting a degree. It's about going to another country and experiencing that culture, working there for a year. It's about going into a field that you love, spending time in that, and then taking 2 years and doing something totally different. It's about experience, because you can learn from a textbook. You can learn all you can from a textbook, but nothing kicks your backside more than a life lesson. You will learn more from failing than you will from succeeding. And these people that go out there and then they become accountants and they get their dream job and they get their dream car and everything like that is awesome. That is great. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to strive for. It's a good thing to strive for. But nothing taught me better than failing. Because you learn so much more about yourself from failing than you do about yourself from succeeding. Because failure builds character.
It's so true, man. Oh, my goodness. My brother, I want us to take you for a ride. Once again, I'm here to pick you up with Mr. President, and we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're looking at your journey, especially how you started into wrestling. But you have been dropping some pearls of wisdom there, brother. Has failure taught you that?
It's in the beard, man.
Oh, is it in the beard?
It's in the beard.
The first thing I saw you was like you were surprised how grey I was. Was it hard, like looking at yourself going grey, bro?
Man, a few years ago, 2018, we were in Port Elizabeth doing one of our big wrestling shows. And we were out the whole night drinking and celebrating and doing the business. And we had international wrestlers coming over and things like that. It was a great party. And I stopped drinking at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I had an hour sleep, and I got up, and I went to the mirror, and I said, and I looked at it, I said, who the hell is this?
Yeah.
And that's the moment I realized I was getting old. When I looked in the mirror after a heavy night out, and I didn't recognize the person that was standing in front of me, I'm like, I've reached that age, man.
Yes.
I've reached that age.
But has it scared you, like, getting older? Like, because like when you were like 17, 18, you didn't think like at 42 or just over 40, you would feel like, oh my God, damn, like I'm really 40. Like I'm almost like reaching 50.
I cherish my age.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I cherish my age because I may not be the richest person in the world. I may not be the smartest person in the world. I may not be the best. Hell, I might not even be the best professional wrestler in this car. You never know.
Yeah.
But you know what? I have learned, and you are absolutely right, I learned more from not succeeding than I've learned from succeeding. And the wisdom that comes from that, you cannot buy. You cannot buy peace of mind.
Yeah.
You can buy cars, man. You can buy houses, you can buy women, you can buy whatever you want. There is nothing in this world like peace of mind.
And if you don't know how to create it, you can't buy it.
Exactly.
Like
so
price to it.
And what do we do? What do we do when we're unfulfilled? We try and get things in our life that will fulfill us. Alcohol, drugs, loose women, more cars, more houses, more clothes. You try and
houses, strip joints.
You try and fill that gap.
Yes.
And that gap doesn't get filled because it's an empty hole, and the only thing that will fill that hole is knowledge and peace.
But why didn't school focus on those things? Because honestly, I just think that we were told, go to school, get a job, get a house, get a car, get a what, and then nobody tells you that true happiness is actually self-understanding, peace of mind, like joy, love, care, like those things are like not in the syllabus, like they are not being taught.
Our schooling system is 200 years old. The way we are taught is a way that they started teaching kids in the Victorian times. Nothing has prepared Africans. They're talking about the 4th industrial wave and the 5th industrial wave and things like that. People don't care about that. People are trying to find jobs.
People are trying to find food.
Exactly. They're trying to find... School is an impractical way to get practical knowledge.
My son said something heavy this morning. He didn't want to go to school, dog. He's like, you know what did he say? I'm trying to find the words. It's like, school is like one place where they brain... It's like he says, it's a brainwash factory.
100%.
He's 11 years old. He's like, Dad, school is a brainwash factory. I'm like, son, education is important. He's like, yeah, but school is a brainwash factory. So then I started thinking, I'm like, okay, there's a difference between education and school.
Oh yeah. School didn't teach us how to do taxes, right?
No, it didn't. Or manage our money.
School didn't. Oh, that's a big one. Money
Yeah.
management. That's a
Yeah.
big one.
Yeah.
School didn't teach us any of that stuff.
Or even time management.
Or even time management. You've got a daughter, right?
I've got 2 daughters and 1 son, yeah.
Do your daughters know how to change a tire?
No, they don't.
Does your son know how to cook?
Yeah, he knows.
At
Because
least
I
that's-
teach him, yeah, he does
At least
it with
that's
me.
at least that's something.
No, he didn't learn it from school.
You learnt it from you.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
why doesn't school teach girls how to change spark plugs and tires and things like that? Why don't they teach boys how to be self-sufficient? Because boys are told, once you're out of school, you need to go find a wife. You need to get a job. You need to get an education. How are you going to do that? You can't even look after yourself. You can't even boil an egg. How are you going to feed yourself?
I know a lot of guys who can't do jack in the kitchen, bro. And nothing. They're educated, they're smart, but without the wives, they can't cook. They have to buy takeaways. And you're right. I mean, it's the simple things. But I mean, yeah, I just thought maybe let me throw it in there before I take you for a ride, brother. We'll continue after this break. We took you on a bit of a ride. What did you think of the car, brother, Mr. President?
I love this car, man.
What?
I absolutely love this car.
We need to take you to one of the fights we need, bro.
Yeah, man, that'll
Yeah.
be cool.
So,
Rock up there in El Presidente.
yeah, and then
Yeah,
everybody
man.
else who's surround, like it must drive and drop you off by the ring, bro.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that'll
This
be
is
so dope.
nice, man. This is
You enjoyed
nice.
it, brother?
Man, the seats are comfortable. You're not going to get rid of me.
No, it's like you
I'm-
want to get
I'm-
out when you're there.
I'm
bruh.
in. I'm in here. I'm in
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
If these guys want to wrestle, they must come in here and wrestle. I'm not going to get outside.
It's their problem.
That's it, man. They want it, they must come and get it.
Yeah,
It's in here.
for sure, man. All right, so we're gonna take a break. I'm gonna take him for more spin around here, and when we come back, we'll continue with our conversation. Let's do this.
Cool.
Welcome back to it. This is a second part, my conversation with my guest Donovan Loudmouth, who is a wrestler. He's you doing sales also for Herbalife? Or,
No, man.
you're not doing sales.
I worked in the finance department.
In the finance department.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
Who-
of
who-
Herbalife.
Who knew that a professional wrestler had a mind for numbers?
How is that, bruh?
Dude, it's awesome. Been living the dream.
But have you always been a numbers guy?
I never knew I was a numbers guy until I tried.
So wait, but you've always been in like sales, and then
Yeah.
how did you get into finance?
Man, we were doing a digital online magazine and it wasn't going so well. I had a lot of kickback from the editor of the magazine. I said I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And I went to an agency. They said, listen here, a recruitment agency. They said, listen here, we've got something for you,
Yeah.
but it's not in your field. And I'm like, you know what? At this point in time, I'm willing to try anything. And I went to Herbalife. I wasn't the first choice. I wasn't the second choice. I was the third choice. And the guy that was the first choice took another offer. The second choice guy, he said he didn't like the culture or the vibe. So they said, all right, Donovan, we're going to give you a chance. We're going to give you a 3-month contract to sort out, I needed to sort out royalty payments for Herbalife.
Oh.
And they gave me this 15,000 line spreadsheets, and everybody had a contact details, and I had to phone everybody to confirm how much they were earning and their banking details.
15,000.
15,000. I'll never forget it. So I said, all right, 15,000 divided by 3 months. This is how many days. This is how many I need to do. And I said to myself, you know what? I said, no, I'm not going to play in this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it until it's done. And once I've done until I've done, no matter how much how long it's gonna take, what it's gonna take, I'm gonna do this.
Sure.
So Monday to Friday, 8 to 5, no breaks, no getting up to the bathroom or anything like that. I knuckled down and I went and I was doing 250, 300 people a day.
What?
Off that spreadsheet. And
Calling?
Calling. Hi ma'am, hi sir, how are you? This is your royalties. Can I confirm your banking details? This is how we're rolling.
Yeah.
250. I would average 250 calls a day.
That's insane.
I
bro.
finished that spreadsheet, I think, a month and a half.
What?
a month and a half under the tongue. And then they gave me Botswana, Zambia, Swaziland, Lesotho. Then I was phoning neighboring countries, and I did all of that. And I still had a month left of my contract. And I'm like, okay, what's going to happen? No. You just need to hold on. You just need to hold on. So I'm like, all right, fine. I'm here for the 3 months. I'm going to do whatever they ask me to do. The second to last day my contract was going to end, one of the ladies in the finance department handed in her resignation. My boss went to the HR manager. She said, he turned around and said, you're not putting in this ad. You're not advertising this ad. Donovan's the person that I want. I want him to work in my department. And the HR lady like, well, no, we needed to advertise and we need to follow protocol and things like this. And he went over ahead to the head of EMEA, to the head of the region.
Okay.
And said, I want Donovan in this position. And he fought for me. And I got the job. And he turned around and said to me, he said, I fought for you for this position. Don't disappoint me.
Get your job done.
Get whatever you have to do, get it done.
And you've been.
And I've been.
Yeah, see. All right, so you're doing that in the finance department. You're also doing wrestling. You also have a podcast.
I also have a podcast, man.
Damn, brother, welcome to the podcast. So tell us about your podcast.
I've been doing that for just over a year.
Okay.
South Africa back in the apartheid days, our rand to dollar exchange rate was 1 to 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was very easy for international wrestling talent to sneak in to South Africa and wrestle. Because it was frowned upon in international sports and international relations to come to South Africa. It was taboo. You didn't do it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But these guys and the wrestling agents here and the wrestling promoters here, they're like, we need to entertain the people. So they brought some Americans over. The Undertaker was here before he was the Undertaker in WWE. He came to South Africa. Andre the Giant was here. All of these big names in wrestling came to South Africa under the radar. So what I did was I looked at the history of professional wrestling, because I started going to wrestling matches when I was like 4 or 5 years old.
Okay.
My dad would take me. So every time there was wrestling, we would go. We would go to Sun City. We would go to the Portuguese Hall. We would go to the Wembley Stadium, and we'd watch wrestling. And it was so interesting to talk to some of the guys, some of the older guys. And I just said, we need to get this history out there.
Because I didn't even know anything about this history of how the guys used to just sneak in here and come and wrestle.
Man.
It's insane. So your podcast looks at the history and wrestling. So it's about wrestling.
That's it, about professional wrestling. Yeah. Go with what you know.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah.
Go with what
Otherwise,
you know.
you're gonna lose content along the way if you're not doing what you're passionate about.
That's it.
Yeah.
Why bother doing it if you're not passionate about it?
Absolutely. So you cover the history. You talk about the current. You talk about what? What else do you talk about within wrestling?
I talk about a lot of things to do with professional wrestling as well.
Okay.
Because, and I mentioned this on another show. You can't go into Naturina and go to Kaizer Chiefs and say, hey, listen here, I want to play. And you don't know how to play. It's the same with professional wrestling. If you don't know how to move in the ring, you don't know how to roll or bump or things like that, you're not gonna get far in professional wrestling. But I get calls every single day of guys saying, hey, I want to be a wrestler. How do I get to WWE? Well, the first thing you do is you got to train. Oh, how much are you going to pay me to train? No, bro. We don't pay you to train.
You got to do it.
How many times did we go to Rudaput Stadium there? And on a Tuesday and a Wednesday and a Thursday night, Joe used to drill us about football, about the fundamentals of football.
That's crazy.
Hey, and
I remember Joe, bro.
And you would run and run and run.
And that's the amount of work you got to put in.
That's it, man. And you know what? At that point in time, I was like, "Yeah, no, Joe's full of it. He doesn't, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I never used to try and things like it." But when is the margin of winning and losing defined? Is when the person who has given up on the 89th minute stops running, but the person who still needs to score in the 93rd minute lands up scoring. Don't you get irritated with teams that they're playing your team, man, and you 2 goals up, and it's 10 minutes to go, and then 5 minutes to go, it's 2-2, and then when the final whistle rings, you lose 3-2. Why? Because winners, when it's the 89th minute, winners know how to win because they've trained for 89 minutes to run 93 minutes. They've trained 90 minutes to run 100 minutes. I do it in the wrestling as well. I train those guys until they are flat, until you can actually see they breathe in like that. I said, right, now we're going to train.
Justice.
Because why? Because when you're 19 minutes into a 25-minute match and you are gassed, your blood feels like sulfuric acid in your body. It's eating your body. Those 5 minutes are going to be the most important 5 minutes of your life, win or lose, because that defines your character. And that's why I say you learn more about yourself in those moments where you feel like you're going to lose than when you feel you're going to win.
Yes.
Because that's when you know where this comes from. Not this. They can teach you how to kick a soccer ball. It's in the 93rd minute when they kick the long ball and you got to chase that long ball. That doesn't come from here. It comes from here. And how many people can stand up and say, "I've got the heart, I've got the passion, I've got the power, the fire's here to be what I'm passionate about." Whether it's professional wrestling, whether it's football, athletics, whether it's standing in front of somebody with a gun and you're protecting your property, or you standing in the face of adversity.
Very true. Very true. So,
this isn't going to do anything. It's this.
It's the heart that pushes you through.
That's it, man.
That's so true. Now, okay, so that's the podcast, and then the wrestling part. When did you actually decide that, damn it, I'm getting into this thing now? I want to get myself beaten nicely, and I want to beat up some niggas.
Man, I always wanted to be a wrestler. I was thinking back on it the other day. What did I want to be when I grew up? I wanted to be a journalist or a professional wrestler.
Yeah. Oh, really, eh?
That was it, man.
That's what you're doing?
That was it. Now what? I was 17 years old when I wanted to do that. I'm 42 now. I'm living the dream.
Yes.
I don't get paid much for the dream. The dream doesn't pay much.
Yeah.
That's why I got a job.
Yeah.
But I'm wrestling. I'm doing the wrestling podcast. I'm watching wrestling. I'm interacting with wrestlers from all over the world. I'm talking. I'm experiencing my passion with other people.
And you get to travel.
That's cool, man.
Meet
I started wrestling when I was 28 years old.
28 years old.
28 years old, man.
Yes.
Why? Because I couldn't find a school in my area, and when I did find a school in the area, I was too afraid to take that step.
Wait, a wrestling school?
Yeah.
So you have to belong to one. So it's like a boxing club.
Yeah, man. But
you belong to one. Yeah.
You can throw a punch on the street.
Yeah.
You can kick somebody. What about technique?
Okay.
There's always going to be somebody that's going to start sidestep you and give you a PK.
Yeah.
Yeah, just getting one on the side of the head, man.
So wait, so you joined us at 28.
Yeah.
Wasn't it hard, bro?
Dude.
Like, especially with your fear, because you prolonged it, and then you're like thinking, what if I get hurt? What if I get, like, what was going through your mind?
Here's the thing. When I started wrestling, I was 155 kilograms. I was grossly overweight. I had to not only lose weight, I had to learn how to wrestle at the same time.
Yeah, sis.
And it's hard for somebody like me, because I love food, man. I love food. I think food is one of the most beautiful things in the world.
Yeah.
So now I'm still eating the way I'm eating. Everybody's telling me to lose weight, and I'm like, you know what? We'll get there.
Yeah.
And then I started wrestling, and nobody took a chance on me, and I was getting frustrated. And somebody turned around and said to me, why are you getting frustrated when you're not, you doing your own thing?
Hmm.
And I said, you know what, you're right. I need to look within myself. How am I going to fix myself to fix my wrestling?
Hmm.
And I started losing weight and I started training differently.
Okay.
I didn't train like the guys that were doing somersaults.
Oh.
I started to train like a big man.
Okay.
And then the weight started coming down naturally. And then I started to look good. So then I started to cut out junk food. I started to cut out sugar. I started to cut out fizzy cold drinks. And then I was losing weight. And then I was doing better in the ring. And now all of a sudden, instead of having 5, 10, 15-minute matches, I was having 25, 30, 40, 50-minute matches.
Oh.
Now I'm looking good. I'm feeling good. Things are happening for me. And it wasn't enough. I'm like, I can do so much more. What are the other guys not doing that I can do? So then I started with speaking. I started with cutting promos in the ring. I started with talking about wrestling. I started being passionate about wrestling in a different way. Now all of a sudden, I'm a guy that can wrestle for 40 minutes, but I'm a guy that can entertain for 15 minutes because I can talk faster than the other guys. I was wittier than the other guys. I could rile up a crowd because I was insulting, because I was so much quicker than what they could say. Now people want to see me. People are booking. People are saying, "Hey, where can we see Loudmouth? When's his next match?" Now all of a sudden, people are saying, "Hey guys, we're here to watch Loudmouth wrestle." Now all of a sudden, I'm drawing money. So now I'm getting interest in the product. And now they're saying, "Hey Donovan, why don't you start a podcast? You're good at talking about wrestling. Why don't you do it?" Now you can get these guys involved in South Africa. Let you talk to them, and then while you're talking to them, let's get them involved in South Africa. Now guys are coming to South Africa. They say, "Oh, we want to come to South Africa because we want to wrestle the Loudmouth."
What?
Now I'm like, "Hey man, I've got status. Now I've got status."
I'm getting goosebumps.
And now they said, right, now how can we elevate Donovan? Okay, maybe he's still not looking like a professional wrestler supposed to look, but he can wrestle like a professional wrestler supposed to wrestle. He can talk better than a professional wrestler can talk. Let's get guys in here. And now you're going to ex-WWE guys. You're saying, "Hey guys, listen here. Here's the Loudmouth. Check him out. Do you think you want to wrestle him?" "Yeah, I want to wrestle him." "All right, let's go. Let's get you guys over. Let's start getting bigger shows. Let's start talking to bigger people."
Yes. And it just started rolling from there.
And the minute it was 2016 Wrestle Monster 3, they gave me, the owner of Champions Pro Wrestling gave me the opportunity. Said, "Don, here is what we want to do in terms of TV. Make it work." So I didn't get a chance to wrestle, unfortunately. But I was the first to land in PE. I was the last to leave in PE. I was on TV all the time. I was on radio all the time. I was speaking to the press all the time. When you go back and look at the old
Archives,
on the archives and things like that, on channel 260, in Puma Kappa TV, and you look at all the Wrestle Monster 3 stuff, you see my face all the time. All the time. At the Arnold's at 2017, we had Shelton Benjamin, Carlito, we had the Samoan tag team here, we had Jack Swagger here. Don, unfortunately, we can't put you in a match, man, but how would you like to commentate these guys? Cool. Commentate to the guys. Ex-WWE guys came up to me and say, "Hey, listen here, man, that's some of the coldest shit I've ever heard."
What?
That stuff, I'm going to talk to people about you.
So now, wait, man. How did you come up with the name Loudmouth?
Bruh, when we played soccer, what was the one thing I didn't do?
Yeah, well, look, you didn't stop talking. Yeah, and chirping. Yeah, and talk. Yeah, and like, yeah, I know.
Now you're tuning a guy. "Hey, listen here, why are you so sour? You got a personality like a lemon taster."
Yeah.
Hey, it turns out he goes, "Hey, you're being such a loudmouth." "Sir?"
Yeah.
I was doing that the first season that WWP Thunderstrike was on SABC2.
Yeah.
All these old guys, all these old legends are in the ring, man. I ain't shutting up for nobody.
You just chirping them.
I'm chirping everybody.
Does it become personal in wrestling? Like, your chirping, does it annoy
Man.
someone to a point where he's like, you know what, this time around I'm gonna really just hit him with a chip.
If I'm not annoying you, am I doing my job correctly?
Okay, so it has to work.
It has to work.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not gonna go and chirp somebody. I'm gonna say, "Hey, your mother,"
Okay.
because that's personal.
Yeah.
But I am gonna take a guy that's a little bit shorter than me and say, listen, aren't you a little short in supply now? Yeah, don't be short tempered, bro. I don't want to think little of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He gets into the ring and then you bring a stepladder into the ring.
Yeah.
And then you make him step on the stepladder when he's talking to you because he's a little bit shorter than you. He's not much shorter than me, maybe this much shorter than me.
Yeah.
But you're like, hey, bro, you want to stand on that step when you address your elders? What's going on?
Yeah.
I got such heat in Middleburg. I was almost attacked by a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
A guy was flipping me off and laughing. He was talking to his girlfriend and making like he was a big man. And I took his beer and I flipped it in his face. And when he got angry about it, I slapped him.
What?
And then I went back into the ring.
And the crowd went crazy.
And the crowd went nuts, dude. They called security
to get you out.
To get him out.
Oh, he wanted to react.
He wanted to react. Yes. Don't not give me the reaction that I want, because I want you to boo me. I don't want you to cheer for me.
Oh.
But now you're acting big in front of your girlfriend now to try and impress her.
Oh.
You know.
And you're like, I'm gonna deal with you.
And you're like, well, you're gonna get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, the chirping, is it? Do you plan your chirps? Like, or does it come like? Because comedians say when they do stand-up comedy, they plan their content. So they think about what they're gonna say, how they're gonna say it. Even like they'll say the same joke 5-10 times.
Yeah.
Now, just so that it comes out naturally when they're actually doing a stand-up comedy. With you, do you think about your chirps? You're like, I think I could say, oh, he looks like that.
Oh, no.
Or it just comes natural.
Oh, no, it comes naturally to me. We were in Messina, and we were there, and we were doing this one show at this farmer's thing that they were having there, which is cool, whatever, they paid me. And I got into the ring, and the one oak started chirping. I was fat and things like this. And I said, hey, listen here, Uncle Bob's 5 kilometers over the border there. I'll get him. You'll come and repossess your farm.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed back in Messina for 5 years.
Huh? What?
Yeah. I've only recently been allowed to go and perform at that show again. They did not take it personally.
Because they're like, it could just happen.
It could just happen.
This guy could.
And it was 2015. I'll never forget it. It was the day of my dad's funeral.
Oh yeah.
My dad passed away.
Okay, condolences, man.
Thank you very much. He passed away on the Saturday. I was in Port Elizabeth doing the show. And that Friday was his funeral. I hadn't slept that week. So his memorial service took place. We did all the after tears and everything like that. I went to go and lay down for a bit, not sleeping. We got into the car at midnight to go to Messina the next day. And I stood in the car, back seat, just like this, took the seatbelt, clicked it in like this, and I went. And it was the first time I'd slept in 5 days. So by the time I'd got there, I was in a rotten mood. And then I get into the ring there, and this farmer started laughing at me. Man, it's your ass. I'm going to make you suffer.
Yeah, sus.
So yeah, my stuff isn't planned.
Yo, so it's just natural.
It's natural.
You're also telling me about Nigeria. You went to go perform in Nigeria.
Nigeria was cool, man.
This amazing treatment, royal presidential treatment.
Man,
tell us about that.
Nigeria is the best.
What?
Nigeria is the best, bro.
After, like, everybody always think Nigerians.
Nigerians here are different. Nigerians there, man, they just want to get you in your house and feed you.
What?
They want to get you in your house and feed you, man.
So you went there to go and what? Was it a competition or was it a tournament?
We went to go and wrestle. Went to go wrestle John Strongman and some of the wrestlers there.
And then when you arrived there, like, how was it like when you got to the airport? You didn't feel like they might just, because everybody who goes to Nigeria, when they get there, they're thinking, shit, we might just be hijacked, we might just be...
We had the army with us.
Oh,
so,
to look after you guys.
Yeah. because we did a tour, you know, the open top tour.
Okay.
Guys did the tour. The street was so packed, like they had to have the army there to get people out the way,
Oh.
so that you could actually get to your destination.
Yeah.
And then you'd get to the stadium at 7 o'clock at night, and you wrestle 3 o'clock in the morning.
What?
Because the guys would be in the clubs.
They're coming.
The clubs would close at midnight. Now they want to watch wrestling.
Oh, yeah. See. So, brother, so where to from now, just in terms of, you know, your career in wrestling, and before we talk about the podcast?
We have got tryouts happening this Saturday at the Arnold Multisports and Arts Festival at the Ramsach Athletic Stadium, and we've got 2 shows after that. We've got 2 shows on the weekend.
Oh, that's where you were going to check out the site.
That's when I was going to go check out the site.
Okay. So
And then
this Saturday.
we've got some things planned. There is a tour to Uganda that needs to happen.
Okay.
They need to pay deposits so we can go.
Okay.
There's a tour to India this year that we want to make happen. There's other things in the pipeline that we want to make happen as well. And then on top of that, man, Champions Pro Wrestling does anti-bullying talks. We do anti-gangsterism and anti-drug talks as well.
Yeah.
For the youth, man, because you need to invest in your youth.
That's true. That's true.
You need to invest in your youth.
That's so dope, man. And then, okay, so that's on the wrestling front. You're also looking forward to participating more, and then obviously more commentary as it comes along.
Yeah, man. I'm actually on top of wrestling this weekend. I'm actually doing the MC work for the arm wrestling as well.
Arm wrestling.
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna be doing the.
People still do that,
dude. Sylvester Stallone over the top. It still happens, man. It still happens.
Wrestling.
Oh yeah, man. Arm wrestling,
oh my
man.
God, I haven't seen that.
You're
in a
the
long
best.
Time. Yeah.
All right. Nothing. Oh no, man. That still happens.
You
That still
emceeing
happens. Emceeing that.
Oh, that's so dope.
Yeah, man.
So, but like, what do you say? Sipo's got him halfway. He's about to.
Hey, it is a way more technical than you think.
Oh, really?
Wrist position, top hooks, underhooks, how you counter an underhook, and everything like that. I'm like, you put your arm there, you press the oak down, end of story.
Yeah.
And then I got into the rules. I'm like,
what
the hell? It's not the same thing. It's not even the same. It's not even the same ballpark. There's rules and regulations. The way you got to hold your wrist. If you pull away from the table, they got to strap your wrist together. If you mick more than 2 times away from the table, it's an automatic win for the other guy. I'm like, damn, this has got more rules than professional wrestling.
Yeah, but at least there you don't get hurt.
I don't know, man. I've seen people snap their arms in arm wrestling.
Really?
Yeah, man. They snap their arms. They snap their arms like cleaning too.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. What's the worst you've had, like in terms of injury?
I dislocated my knee.
From jumping from the rope, or from
Jumping.
somebody jumping on the knee?
No. Jumping from the second rope to stomp on a guy that was in the corner. And when I stomped on him, my knee went back like this, and as it went back like this, all the ligaments just went, how's it?
Oh!
And then I put the kneecap back into place, and then I wrestled. That was 3 minutes into a 20-minute scheduled match. And I had to wrestle 17 minutes with my knee all fucked up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's all good, man. We swear around here sometimes.
So yeah. So then I took 2 Voltaren injections from ER24 because they had to obviously stretch me out the ring. I couldn't get out myself.
Yeah.
Took me to the tent, strapped it up, 2 Voltaren injections. I was back out for the main event to do the running.
Oh my word, brother. It's crazy. I saw some pictures of you like that you sent to me, you shared with me. Like you were like injured, like blood all over. So it's real, bro. It's like it's real.
That's stupidity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because why do you want to get thumbtacks and fluorescent tubes involved in your wrestling?
Okay.
Yes.
I get you. So it must be real.
That was the stitches were real. The puncture marks from the thumbtacks were real. The skin off my elbow was real.
Yeah.
Real.
Sure.
Hurt really bad as well.
Yeah, you look like it, bro. I'm like, how does a man put himself through all of that? But,
Man,
I guess it's what you love doing, brother.
You do it because A, you're there to entertain the crowd.
Yeah.
B, you're there to do the job. And C, if you don't do it, who else is going to do it?
Absolutely.
As much as I like you, Sipo, I don't see you doing an elbow off the top rope, man.
No.
Just
Yeah. I'm like,
Just,
like, I saw you jumping on a guy, then I'm like, yo, this thing can be seriously painful. Especially, is it acting or is it choreography or is it real in some parts?
okay, let me put it to you this way. You watched the Avengers movie, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
You see them fighting and crashing through things, and you've seen them joking with each other, and you've seen tense moments between friends, and you've seen a bit of romance, you've seen a lot of comedy, you've seen a lot of action scenes and things like that. The only difference between the Avengers and us is I don't have Tony Stark's money.
Okay.
But everything that we do is an action movie come to life. Because we roll and we bump and we hit and we fight and we talk crap and we laugh, and sometimes there's a bit of comedy, sometimes there's a bit of romance, but there's always action. And that's professional wrestling, man.
That's dope, man. Yo, that's amazing. Where can people catch your podcast, and where do you want to see your podcast in a few years? I mean, we're all getting into podcasting as South
Man, it's
Africans.
crazy, man.
Yeah, let's talk about
But
that quickly.
you know what the thing is, Sipo? South Africans have got so much history and so much to tell.
Yeah.
And so much of just life to experience with other people, because you South Africans, expats that go over to Australia, New Zealand, Canada and everything like that, they miss South Africa. Do they miss the sky? Do they miss the ground? Do they miss the braai? Or do they miss the people? Do they miss the fact that South Africans are natural storytellers? And that's why South Africans are so good at podcasts, is because we're natural storytellers. And I just want to, yes, I obviously want to grow my followers. Follow the Loudmouth Appreciation Society on Facebook. That's where you'll find me. But there's so much stories, there's so much experiences that we experience each and every single day that we can tell each other. And by telling the stories of our people, we start to understand where we come from. Where you start to understand where people come from, you start to look at the situations differently.
Absolutely.
And you start to empathize with people, and you start to relate to people, and you start to relate to people like yourselves, and you'll find that you have more in common with somebody down the street from you or somebody watching your podcast than you actually thought.
Very true, bro. Very, very true. My brother, it's been such a pleasure to speak to you, man.
It's been great.
I'm just sitting here thinking about all the things you are sharing, the pearls of wisdom that you're dropping, and just like your passion for life, bro. Like your passion for this country. You love this country.
Man, you know, I don't get irritated, I get sad when people like go back to Holland or go back to Britain or go anywhere. I'm a 10 generation South African, man. I come, you talk about the child of the soil. That's how I feel about South Africa. I'm a child of the soil. I'm connected to Africa like Africans are connected to Africa, and nothing's going to change that. Hey, do I like the current system of government? No, it's not. Do I think I can make changes? Everybody can make a change. Everybody can make a positive change if you look at things positively.
That's so true, man. My brother, that was powerful. Loudmouth, my friend Donovan Bluchnote, and of course follow him. He's got a podcast out. You said it's Loudmouth Society.
The Loudmouth Appreciation Society on Facebook. It's on Instagram. It's on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I am an internet celebrity in my own lifetime.
There we go, brother. There we go. Thanks to the internet. And of course, we can do the things we love doing, man, which is talking, podcasts, and all sorts of stuff that we've been exposed to. And big ups and thanks to technology. It's made it easy. Who could have thought we could do a show in a car like this?
Oh, man, it's amazing. It's El Presidente.
El Presidente.
It makes me want to live life.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's a
Let's
big shows, man.
You know what? Forget your conference this weekend. Let's go to Durban.
Huh?
Yeah, let's go
Hey,
to
the
Durban.
ANC's gonna be upset. Yo, we go to Durban, brother.
We go to Durban.
We'll enjoy it, bro.
Yeah, man. We'll go have a drink at Joe Cool's.
Hey, just come back.
There we go.
Drive there for like 7 hours, 8 hours, and
Just come back.
yeah,
Go put
sleep
your
on the beach in the car.
We'll go for a few drinks at Joe Cool's.
Yeah,
We go to the pub there in New Amsterdam. We'll come back.
and then that's it.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
And you can still attend your conference. I can
Yeah.
still make the Arnolds and refresh.
How crazy is that, man? Let's get it done.
We gotta get it done.
All right, man. We're out of here. Please subscribe. Please tell everybody about the podcast, and I appreciate you guys and thank you. I see we're sitting on 65 subscribers in less than a month. So I really appreciate you for signing up.
Yeah,
and,
man. Let's do it.
Let's do this thing, man. We out. Peace.